everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to some more DC Worlds Collide. I just wanted to do a short video on something, and I just wanted to ask a question out there is, does everyone deserve the characters? I have limited experiences because for me, the most important thing is the IP. So that's why I don't play like Raid Shadow Legends. I can't collect just for the sake of collecting. I need this IP, and my two favorite are Star Wars and DC. That's why I played a lot of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. That's why I played DC Dark Legions when it came out earlier in the year. That's why I hopped over to this. You know, I love Star Wars. I love DC. That's what I'm at. That's what I get into. That's what brings me joy. And so collecting these characters in these games is fun. But in this game, as free to play, you don't get to have every character. Most likely, if you summon for Aquaman, you don't have 150 to guarantee you Cyborg. And my question is should a game be designed like that? Should a game be designed where even a free-to-play player can't even get the character? You know, that you have to actually pay just to even unlock the character. I think it's pretty steep. I think it's unfortunate. I'll go back to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Until everything before Galactic Legends, when they came out with a new character, everyone got him. Now, if you were free to play, you got him at 3 stars and he wasn't worth a darn. But you got him, you had him in your collection. You could decide whether or not to work on him. And there was a window, like he wasn't farmable for several months, so that the whales and everyone who want to pay can pay, and that's okay. That's what you're paying for. That's awesome. And if you can do that, you should do that. And you should get an advantage for paying money. Whales should have an advantage over everyone else. There's no arguing that. But I think at the very least they could give us the character and make it easier for free to play to at least obtain the character. Because if you just get one pull of Cyborg or any of these guys, this is where you'll be. I did the Superman event. I got 1 pull. He's at 7 stars. You need purples and blues to go from 5 to 6 and then 6 to 7. If you want to change that to make it even more, you know, friendly to whales, to make it even another copy, I mean, that would be terrible, but you could do that. But if you're free to play and you get 1 copy, this is where you can get them. You can get them to 7, probably can do 10, at least unlock 1 badge. You're not putting an artifact on a guy. So you have the character, but my DCU Superman isn't any good. I mean, he's not as good as these guys who've got him at badge 30 and, you know, rank 300 and, you know, got an artifact on him. And it shouldn't be. They've paid the money to have that advantage and they should get it. But as a free-to-play person, I should at least have the character in my roster that I can come look at, that I can try to use in different modes that I play in at my level, you know. To completely block me out, or block any free-to-play player out, of getting a character, I'm not a big fan of. I just don't see how this sells. If you're free-to-play and you come here and your Cyborg's your favorite hero, you can't get him. You're out. I could try my 36 tokens at 1% chance per token, but I might as well be pissing in the wind because that's what it's going to be doing. It's not going to work. And I'm going to end up with a bunch of purples that, you know, that I don't need. So that's my question. Do we at least deserve to be able to unlock the character in a reasonable manner? On the other game I talked about, DC Dark Legions, I played that for 4 months. I had every character, and I spent $10 a month on that game. Nothing crazy, but I had every character. Now I had them at either no stars or 5 white stars, which is the lowest levels. Theirs were 5 white stars, then blue stars, purple stars, gold stars, and red stars. And you had to get more copies of the character to, obviously, you know how this goes. But I had every character at least, you know. And especially if you're going to do things like events like this, and I know they touched upon the one for the main guy with the dampening, because this one's steep. You know, if you missed out on any of these characters, or you don't have them at least rank 6, you can't even take part in this event. But it just isn't there. I mean, look at this. And I know my league's at 7, so rank 7. But still, I can't do that. If I'm doing my roster right, I can't spread all this wealth around. I don't have all these resources to make sure I got a back row attack squad that's all 7, or that I got a complete fire squad, burn squad at 7. You know, you just can't do it. So if you're not at least gonna allow us to get these legendaries, and at least just let us have them to 7, and then the whales and stuff can take them to 10 and more, and have that advantage that 10 gives, which is of course 3 more levels, of course the artifacts, of course their levels are higher. It seems a little tough to look at this list of legends here and know I have no, you get to pick one of these, so you're out the other 2. So I picked Wonder Woman. No shot at him, no shot at him, no shot at him. I'll have a better shot in my league pulls. No shot at him, no shot at her. No, the fusion for him was terrible. 60, no warning. So that was kind of a bummer. No shot at him. He was right after John Cena, so no shot at him, none at him. He's a little bit better because he's only 40 characters, so one pull of each isn't too bad to at least unlock him and get him to 7. Her I just got lucky with. And then event and event. But there's so many of these guys that are just off the table, and they shouldn't be. You should at least be able to get Cyborg right now. With this event, you should at least be able to unlock the character. Now, granted, like I said, the whales have the advantage. They'll take them straight to 10. But it's free to play. We should be able to at least get the character. Now, I don't know if that means more encrypted tokens, lower the pity. I know they argue they don't want to do this because they think it causes stress. I'll tell you what causes stress is that 150. That's the stressor right there, is having to come up with 150 of those just to get the character. That's where the stress is at. This is what needs to change, and we've talked about that before, so it's nothing new. But I just think it's wrong that every character should be at least unlockable by free-to-play players, and then of course the whales and everyone take them beyond, and to have that advantage of having them characters fully outfitted. Because if you take, again, my soups at 7, let's go. No artifact. Look at my skills. It's all 2s and even a 1. None of his skills are where they are maxed out or doing anything special, like they are capable of. So that's just kind of my thing, and just kind of question I'm going to throw out there. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is this the way games are now? Maybe I just have been, playing the wrong games, and that most games are like this. But I think it's pretty unfortunate that you can't at least unlock the character, and at least have the character in your thing. It's a hero collecting game. Let us collect the heroes, and then let the whales and all them, max them out and do all the competitive stuff, and we'll, us free-to-play guys will just hang out here at the bottom and in the shallow end and have our fun with all the characters that we've unlocked. So, but definitely let me know your opinions in the comments. Let me know. Maybe you think I'm absolutely nuts and I'm just here whining and crying, or maybe you think I'm right. I don't know, but I'd love to hear what you have to say on the idea of everyone should at least be able to unlock the character, that we shouldn't be, this far out to where we just have no shot at unlocking a character. Alrighty guys, that's just my take and my question I wanted to pose to you guys. I wish you guys the best of luck in your rosters, and I hope to see you in my next video. Have a good one, everybody.